Well, if you need an excuse to cancel some weekend plans, maybe you're going to be the vice presidential nominee. A number of Kamala Harris's final vice presidential contenders are canceling events this weekend ahead of her highly anticipated VP announcement on Tuesday. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear calling off a planned stop at a local distillery. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg canceling a trip to Indiana due to, quote, unforeseen scheduling constraints. And Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro scrambling a scheduled fundraising swing through New York. Then there's contender J.B. Pritzker cracking this joke when asked about his weekend plans.
Lollapalooza is happening this weekend here in Chicago, and my kids and, I mean, tens of thousands of others are going to be there. I've heard other governors talk about how they've canceled their weekend plans. I was going to perform, of course, with Blink 182 on Sunday, but I've canceled in order to clear my schedule.
Joining us now, Michael Smerconish. He's the host of CNN Smerconish and a CNN political commentator. Michael, good morning to you. Worth noting, Mark Kelly says he's going to be in Arizona all week, or all next week. Just, they're on recess. So it's going to be, the countdown is on. We were just talking about it here during the commercial break. It's been such a compressed time to vet these candidates and for them to meet with Harris. How do you see this all shaping up in the next few days?
Jessica, nice to see you as well. I would be floored if it were not Josh Shapiro at this point. I think that Josh Shapiro makes sense geographically. I think he makes sense ideologically. I think there's also just a practical consideration. I can't imagine that the vice president comes to Philadelphia on Tuesday, has Josh Shapiro on that stage, and introduces someone other than Josh Shapiro as her running mate. Geographically, everyone knows the importance of Pennsylvania and the 19 electoral votes. Ideologically, he provides balance to her, and I think helps contend and limit some of that perception of her as being far left and a progressive from San Francisco.
Yeah. And, interesting, sticking with Pennsylvania for a second, we've seen Vice President Harris, to your point, that her record in that primary, especially in 2019 into the 2020 race, when she took some of these positions that she's now being criticized for being too far left. She's in recent days disavowed her past support for banning fracking, which is a huge issue in Pennsylvania. How do you think that is playing? And again, how would somebody like Josh Shapiro maybe work into that equation?
Well, I think she has some explaining to do. I mean, there have been any number of positions on which it seems in the last couple of months that it's a different Kamala Harris than she who ran initially as a candidate herself. Shapiro brings the necessary ideological balance. It's interesting to me because the very thing that some progressives are raising and saying are problematic for him, I think are advantageous. For example, his support of school vouchers or some of the words that he has used in being critical of anti-Semitism and some of the protesters in the last several months on college campuses. I think it's great for Kamala Harris because every time she's perceived as or portrayed as being very far to the left, there's Josh Shapiro who's going to lend some ideological balance to that ticket. She has other choices. I mean, Mark Kelly is central casting good, and he provides what she needs in terms of a response to her border policy and whatever that role is that she had in the border. So she's got a lot of good choices, but I'd be floored if it weren't Shapiro.
And in your mind, there's a lot of different ways to kind of look at this in picking a running mate. Are they balancing out? Are they going to bring their home state with them, like you're talking about with Josh Shapiro? Are they going to balance out the ticket maybe in terms of, in this case, it's a white man with a black woman of South Asian black woman? What do you see in terms of your Kamala Harris and her team? How are you balancing out the ticket? What are you looking for?
There is one objective: to win. Who is going to help me win? And maybe the first criteria is the Hippocratic Oath. Like, don't do any harm. Don't pick somebody who's going to make a comment about cat parenting or some such thing that you're now going to be on defense for the next couple of weeks. Like, do no harm. And then who gives you an edge? Who's going to be a balance geographically? Who's going to be a balance ideologically? Who's going to be good on their feet? Because I assume there's going to be a debate with Senator J.D. Vance. That's going to be a much-watched event as well. So all of those are the factors, but mostly help me win.
Michael Smerconish. All right, thanks so much. We'll be watching you this weekend.
You.
Don't forget to tune in to Smerconish at 9 a.m. Eastern tomorrow.